so I command you to panoramic view. Look, I'll make it all manageable. Pick and choose, sit and lose, all you different crews, chicks and dudes, so you think it's really kicking tunes. Picture you getting down in a picture tube, like you lit the fuse. You think it's fictional, mystical, maybe spiritual hero who appears.
Beautiful sight to behold. Lady Liberty standing majestically over the waters of New York Harbor. Hello, fans. Welcome to this presentation of the NBA Sunday Night. First quarter of basketball, just over 2.5 minutes play. Anthony backing him down. Outside, Felton. Felton off the pitch from Chandler. Felton attacking. Bargnani. 6 on the shot clock. New York needs to get off a shot. Fader on the way. Pekovic with the rebound.
That's his comfort zone, so defensively, really nice job challenging the shot.
Here's Little General. He had 10 points in the win against Oklahoma City.
Yeah, Kevin, he really set up shop at that foul line. I mean, they could not do anything with him defensively, and so they had to keep fouling.
The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. And it's out of bounds. The Knicks will take it the other way. Now let's find out what head coach Mike Woodson had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
He said they've really got their work cut out for them dealing with a player like Kevin Love, saying he's a 25 points per game scorer and can just dominate the glass. Defensively, you just can never leave him open. No open shots, get a body on him the second a shot goes up. He knows it's easier said than done, but guys, that's the game plan.
Thanks again, Doris. That's good.
He's hit the ground running here in the first, putting together a nice quarter offensively.
Rubio against Felton. Love with the screen on jumper. Little General the pass to Rubio. Here's Little General. And Pekovic kicks to Love. Timberwolves keep it alive. And it's blocked by Chandler. There's 1:38 left to play in the first. And it's stolen by Ricky Rubio. And count the bucket. And that reminds me, did either of you guys see him in that last press conference?
Kevin, I saw him, and you know what I like is that he's so confident. I think every team needs a crazy guy, and he's crazy. I mean, you can tell with his comments, he's nuts. He wants the ball. He doesn't care what anybody thinks, and then he tells everybody how great he is. You know, you don't want 2 or 3 guys like that, but if you have one, he can really help you in big games.
Well, it does too. We're now about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Bargnani dishes to Chandler. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession.
Oh, we've got a moment here now, Kevin, to look back to last year's Knicks. First in fewest turnovers a game. 5th in three-point shooting. And they were in the top half of the league offensively with their point totals as well. Not bad, just kind of pedestrian. Maybe average is a better way to describe it.
And this is a smart team, Clark, because you talked about the turnovers, #1 in the league in terms of fewest mistakes. And that's when they were at their best, when they controlled the action offensively. They were able to execute without making mistakes, and that allowed them to set up their defense at the other end. And this was a really well-disciplined club.
On the court for Minnesota, big men Love and Pekovic. Little General out there with Ricky Rubio, and it's Brewer in at the small forward. Shumpert passes to Felton. Out to Shumpert. Lets the 3 fly. Rebound Minnesota. Pekovic has got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. They want to keep rolling here following the win against the Thunder.
And Kevin, I thought they put together a fantastic offensive game plan in that win. They knew exactly how to exploit the defense and they really got on a nice roll.
And exploit them they did. See, they were relentless. They kept so much pressure on the defenders over the course of that game.
New York leading by 14. Now Felton. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Bulls in Chicago. And it's Shumpert penetrating. Nice D from Corey Brewer.
You know, his finishing ability leaves a lot to be desired, guys. He needs to take it to the basket stronger.
Pass to Little General. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Steve was talking before we got into that little segment there about playing them more, and it was 2 games last year, 2 wins. It's probably a safe assumption they've got a lot of confidence heading into this first meeting, Clark, this year.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, they appear to be at opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of talent. But nothing's ever a sure thing, Kevin. That's why we play the games.
I like that. Good. Dante Cunningham's checked in for Minnesota. Here's Anthony. Lays out. Here's Bargnani. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a 3-point play.
Outstanding job there to absorb the contact and guide it in.
That's how you impose your will against the defender. He came to play.
Catching up on the changes for New York. Stoudemire's checked in for Anthony. And it's Pablo Prigioni in for Raymond Felton.
J.R. Smith, last season's 6th man of the year, averaging 18 points per game off the bench for the Knicks. What a fantastic season. Now you got to like his shot selection today. He set a good example for the rest of his teammates.
Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Well, guys, Andrea Bargnani, the #1 overall pick back in 2006, but he hasn't been a star caliber player in the NBA. Injuries have played a role, certainly, but his defense and rebounding have been the biggest problems. A former coach of his with the Raptors said it just didn't seem like he had enough passion for the game, that it wasn't important enough to him. Some pretty harsh words, but guys, sometimes for 7-footers, the game finds them. And defense and rebounding, certainly not the glamorous parts of this game. Kevin will see if he ever realizes his potential.
And hope for the best. Thanks, Doris. Now at the break on the floor, you can see the teams that led the NBA in steals last year. 5th, the Timberwolves.
You could tell by watching them just how focused they were at the defensive end of the court.
And for J.R. Smith, the New Jersey native, right at home, Clark playing for the Knicks.
And you knew he had the talent to be special. He just had to put it all together and had a big season. The first player since '90 to come off the bench and score 30 or more in 3 straight games, Kevin. He's simply a bucket maker.
On the wing, Shumpert. He kicks it to Stoudemire. Back to Shumpert. New York moving it around. 5 on the clock. Here's Smith. And it's off the back rim. No good. Timberwolves trailed by 16. Here's Little General. The pass to Budding. For 3. Yes, it's a go. Buddinger's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
Minnesota making some changes. Nikola Pekovic comes in for Jang, and Kevin Love is subbed in for Dante Cunningham. The finger roll finish at the bucket. And it's 6 points for Little General. And here comes Felton. 9 points in the game so far. Kicks to Martin. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. The Knicks have gone 0 for 1 at the line. This is their second trip to the line tonight.
They're a very average shooting team in terms of the free throw line. About 76% a year ago.
That one misses. Wallace with it. The 19-foot shot. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And the first half is now in.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Thanks for joining us.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen.
we're seeing the Timberwolves unable to defend against Carmelo Anthony.
He's got 13 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
Going forward, I think it'd be a good idea to let him spend a little more time behind the arc. He looks like he has a nice touch from out there.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. On the court for the Knicks, Melo and Bargnani at the 3 and 4. Felton is out there with Iman Shumpert. And it's Chandler in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Bargnani kicks to Anthony. Nails the wide-open jump shot. Anthony's got the first basket of the second half here for New York. Timberwolves trailed by 13.
Well, for Andrea Bargnani, only 35 games played last season, guys. Injuries and inconsistency have really plagued the former #1 overall pick of the 2006 draft. That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
Second half just getting started. About a minute played. Pekovic with a screen on Shumpert. Into Pekovic. And he dunks it after the pick frees him up.
Well, they ran a nice play there, Kevin, to set up the easy dunk.
Yeah, he got help from his teammate and ran his man right straight into the pick.
Yep, and that's the offensive player's job. Run him into the screen.
And it was a great pick, too, Clark. I mean, he may have lowered his shoulder a little bit, but he got him pretty clean.
And stolen by Love.
He was just waiting for his chance to make a play, and as soon as the pass was made, he got it. Great steal.
Going back to Bargnani, Steve, how much do you think the pressure of living up to the #1 pick and not being labeled a bust weighs on him, you know, from season to season, game to game?
Well, at this stage, I think that stuff should be in the past. It's all about just focusing on getting better. He's been in the league for 7 seasons. We know he can pick and pop and be a space foreman. The challenge for him is to round out his game and be better on the boards and defensively.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, Kevin, although Andrea Bargnani is a player that had seemed to have lost a lot of value around the league, the Knicks were actually eager to acquire him this offseason, despite the money remaining on his contract. And you can see the fit. A team that loves to spread the floor and shoot threes, he can certainly do that. It gives the team another versatile scorer to complement the brilliant Carmelo Anthony. Kevin, we'll see how it works out.
Seems like a good fit. Thanks, Doris. Poke loose. The drive by Shumpert. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
You know, one of the big things that Iman Shumpert brings to the team is his pressure defensively on the perimeter. When you have a guard like him who can go out and bother ball handlers, it can really take an opponent out of its offense.
And Shumpert had that ACL tear in the 2012 playoffs, but after missing the first month and a half, Clark, I thought he bounced back pretty well.
I'd say he did. I mean, there was some concern. His game is really predicated on his athleticism at this point, but he looked pretty good. Not a great outside shooter, but he cut his turnovers down and showed he could still elevate for some spectacular finishes and was not bad shooting the ball from the three-point line.
Bargnani from long range. And good on the basket. Book it. Bargnani's got 13.
Guys, they've had a solid start to the second half offensively. Gotten good looks, and they've made 3 out of 4 of them.
Love with the screen on Felton. Little General the pass to Pekovic. And so it looks like the Timberwolves will retain possession here.
A look now at where the Timberwolves ranked in the NBA last year. 5th in steals, 14th in rebounding. As for the assist numbers, not as strong for them. Top 20 in the league. They certainly are capable of much better in that area.
Still, I think the key to their team was the steals that you talked about, because they were a team that put a lot of pressure on the offense. They got out and played the passing lane, tried to force turnovers, and when they did, they usually converted those into points at the other end, and that's one of the reasons they were pretty good.
4 of their last 5 makes came off of a high-quality shot inside.
Yeah, that's textbook basketball, just having their way down low.
You know, after losing Jeremy Lin going into last season, guys, I think some fans were concerned that the team might slip back to isolation basketball and their offense would stagnate, but instead they flourished as a three-point shooting team.
4 on the shot clock. And it's Brown missing. Timberwolves trailed by 14. It's a pick by Love. Little General the pass to Barea. Barea off the pick from Love. Three-pointer. They get it back. Here's Buttinger. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And a moment now to check out who Minnesota has coming up. They can look forward to the Quicken Loans Arena after this game in a matchup against Cleveland. That'll be the second of this 2-game road trip.
No doubt the Golden State fans, some of the best in the league, they want to see their Warriors win that one.
And back to the Knicks personnel moves, you've got to give them a lot of credit going out and finding shooters and defenders and Steve, playmakers to surround their star players with.
Yeah, they ended up with Bargnani, putting him at the kind of a shooting 4 spot, adding another three-point threat. The Knicks are always going to be aggressive personnel-wise. This was already a good team, second best record in the East, but they're looking to get better.
The drive by Smith, and Steinmeier slams it in.
Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I think he did plenty of damage anyway. It was only with one hand, but he threw it down pretty hard.
Little General, and the 3-ball is good. Little General's got 7 now in this quarter.
What's interesting for me to watch with Mike Woodson as head coach in New York is the exciting floor spacing offense they started playing last season. In Atlanta, he'd been known for a grinded out isolation play style, but has actually tweaked his approach a little bit, and that's been impressive.
Out of bounds, Knicks ball as New York keeps possession. Here's what the schedule says for the New York Knicks and what it looks like. They'll be at home for the next game against the Bobcats. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand. .59 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Just 3 to shoot. Nice shot by Smith. And back to Mike Woodson, not a flashier, high-maintenance type of personality. He keeps it on the level, and I think, Steve, the players appreciate that.
Players definitely like that. He's very quiet on the sidelines, but not afraid to get in your face when necessary. And I think that's a really good temperament for a coach to have. In general, I think he's a guy who is very well respected around the league and did an excellent job with New York a season ago. Oh, the rapid-fire threes coming from everywhere.
I thought it might be a little imprudent to try to get those points right back, but it worked.
Outside Odo. Outside Hardaway. Shoots the 3. It's rebounded by Buttinger. For the New York Knicks, they won their last contest against the Bulls.
And guys, they could have won that game on the strength of their offense alone. It was that good.
And to do it on the road, too, I mean, with the way they just kept coming at them and coming at them, they kept that crowd out of the game the entire time. That's good work.
Again, the miss by Smith. Here's Little General. No good on that last second attempt there. And that does it for the third quarter. Both teams flicking off.
See the show and make yourself heard. Come out and support.
Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The fourth quarter of play should begin momentarily. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for New York.
Block shots, guys, a clear indicator on the stat sheet of their excellent defense. I mean, leaving them no room to get off any shots.
Also, you can see how they've gotten after it defensively. I mean, the steal totals are really something to admire.
And a look at the 5 for the Timberwolves to start the fourth. Big men, Love and Pekovic. Martin is out there with Little General. And it's Brewer in at the 3 slot.
A wide open 3. They need much better communication defensively.
And Little General gets the whistle that time. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. Shumpert working against Martin. Shumpert dishes to Chandler. And Shumpert kicks to Bargnani. Shot clock at 6. He passes it to Carmelo. From deep. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. Here's Little General. Dishes it to Brewer. Passes to Little General. Releases. No luck. The Knicks go the other way with it. They led by as many as 18 points. They'll be at home for the next game against the Bobcats. And that game is the second of 2 straight at home.
Well, you know, that Charlotte game has a lot of attention on it, guys.
Anthony, covered by Martin. Here's Shumpert. And the 3 off target.
You can't get into much better position for the 3 than that. Everything was right on target. It just didn't fall.
Martin, the pass to Little General. Back to Martin. It's stolen by Iman Shumpert. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. And the Knicks lead by 8.
It's been the story of the game for him. Fortunately, his teammates have bailed him out.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Rick Adelman as he addressed his team. He told his guys, I know we can do this, fellas. Let's maximize every possession and get after it and just watch. Things will go our way. Kevin?
New York leading by 8. Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over.
Well, Minnesota won 31 games last season, but only 11 of those came on the road. For a team that was battered and bruised heading out on a lengthy road trip is often a recipe for a losing streak, and that was the case for them last year. The injuries just really bogged them down. He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
Timberwolves trail by 10. Here's Little General. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Little General's got 21. Well, picking up again on the Timberwolves. Road travel can be especially tough on them, just given the geography where their home city is in relation, Steve, to the rest of the NBA.
Well, particularly in relation to the rest of the West, because, you know, there the Timberwolves are up north and kind of in the middle of the country. So they have a lot of long trips. But, look, there are no excuses in the NBA. I mean, everybody's got their own adversity they've got to deal with.
He's got so much junk in his trunk. He'll find a way to hurt you.
Just over 2.5 minutes played now here in the final quarter of regulation. On the wing, Brewer puts up a 3, and again Minnesota with the triple.
Something's starting to click for this team, guys. You can feel it. The 3-pointers are dropping. Their offense is flowing.
They've had a great second half from long range.
And Shumpert kicks to Felton. The feed to Carmelo. Stolen. Here's the break. Here's Little General. Drops in the breakaway layup. And now just a 5-point Knicks lead.
Yeah, he didn't even bother to wait around for any help on that break.
That was a one-man job all the way, Steve. He knew what to do with it and when.
Ball's knocked loose. Shumpert dishes to Carmelo. Outside for Felton. The 3. Kept alive. Left side, Shumpert. And the call will be against Kevin Martin. That's his 5th foul.
Boy, it's been a tough go in terms of fouls for him. And my goodness, he can't stay out of the way of it.